we talked about Hunger Games and how Steve-O mentioned that he believes that it has a very liberal stance because it talks about the 1% controlling those who are not in a great position, those who are fighting for their lives. You guys get the picture. But what's interesting is Fox News had a very different take. In fact, Eric Bolling had a panel on this subject. And during the panel, he said the following: the film is very entertaining. It hits on all the emotional topics: love, war, greed, fear, class, warfare, corruption, cronyism, all up there on the screen. There was even a teaching moment for our family on the ride home. I sparked up a conversation with my son, Eric Chase, about the central theme of the film: an out-of-control government so powerful they're able to demand fight-to-the-death televised Hunger Games, and the very important sub-theme of hope. Okay, so that was his comment, right? But the panel goes on further.
Depending on how you look at Hunger Games, you could take it as a conservative or a libertarian. But Penn Badgley, who's from Gossip Girl, actually came out and saw the premiere and said it reminded him of Occupy Wall Street, in which it was the 1% killing the kids, which I learned from that Penn Badgley is a complete idiot.
Right.
But it just shows you wherever your ideology lays, it kind of tells you what you're going to get out of it.
Steve, their interpretations seem to be significantly different than yours. And in fact, Greg Gutfeld there said that anybody who thought that this was a liberal movie was an idiot. Counterpoint by Stephen.
It is an out-of-control government, but out-of-control government doesn't necessarily mean it's really the government. It's a representation of the government plus the ruling class. Now, we all know that technically the corporations are not ruling us, but they are through the proxy called the government. So yes, there is definitely an out-of-control government afoot, but it's really an out-of-control government because the corporations are pulling all the puppet strings.
It actually, based on what you guys describe it as, and Steve saw the movie, and obviously Eric Bolling saw the movie, it comes to the same conclusion to me, which is that it's close to the government we have. Now, not in that they put people to death and do the Hunger Games, but in the sense that it's basically the 1% that controls the politicians, which is exactly what we have now, and then gets things to their advantage. And what was fascinating is that Bolling sees that like, oh, it gives people hope that if they kill one another and that maybe they could be in the ruling class too. He sees that as like, isn't that a lovely thing? Whereas I think the point of the movie, from what you're saying, Steve, is the exact opposite. It's not a lovely thing that they're using hope as a drug and pitting the people who are not in the 1% against one another so they fight each other rather than fighting the ruling class that's captured the government.
Look, I mean, whether you like it or not, the reason why poor people in America don't rise up and fight against the top 1% is mainly because a lot of them believe that they are one or two lucky breaks away from becoming the 1% themselves. That if they just had, one more chance or one more this or that, they could become the employers. They could be the ones to control the shots. And whether they win the lottery, the mega million jackpot of $360 million, or whatever it may be, they think they're one step away from being the CEO. And it's amazing this hope, this American dream that we've kind of fed everyone, that they can all make it. It's a great way to keep the masses subdued.
So I think that's why you saw it as a cautionary tale, whereas the Fox News panel saw it as rock and roll. They were like, yeah, look at that. They got hope. If they rip all the other kids to shreds, then they could be among us.